Tui is the language. We butcher it the saying. Like, it's not Tui. It's even me attempting to say it properly, I can't make the sound, right? Like tree.
It's tree.
No, trust
That's
me.
not like a Jamaican
We
saying.
tried
Tree.
it so many times and they just kept bursting out laughing because
It never
like
was.
even a lake we went to, it's called Lake Basom Tui. Like that's how it's spelled, but it's not. It's Lake Basom Tui. I can't do
You
it.
can't do it.
Even if any Ghanaian listening to this, if
We're so
you're out
sorry.
there, if you're listening, they'd be like, what is this guy saying?
I apologize on behalf of Talha. Today I'm joined here with Talha.
Hello, nice to be on this podcast with you.
Wow.
Was that natural enough?
Very formal. I like
You're
that.
5 episodes in. I'm only a
You're
newbie.
rookie. You're a newbie.
Yeah, a newbie to this podcast game. Maybe you like invite me back.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see what contract negotiations say. My people talk to your people. Okay. Cool.
Fair enough.
Tell us why you're actually on this podcast. What asked you to come on?
All right, of course, that would be
Beneficial.
quite important. So I think only 2 weeks ago now, I was in Ghana doing some volunteer work with Vision Aid overseas. Big up Vision Aid, and I was just doing eye tests and helping out the population. Part of the population, mainly students, plus in other villages we were testing eyes and helping them out.
For people who don't know, Vision Overseas was established in 1985 by a group of optometrists, dispensing opticians, and a few other medical professionals. And what they wanted to do was bring, obviously, healthcare and access to healthcare, ease the access to healthcare to the developing world. So they mainly operate in Africa, isn't it?
Yeah, Ethiopia, Ghana. Yeah, I mean, each country is at a different stage. I know that with Ghana, they're further along in the process with regards to where they want to be. Countries like Ethiopia and Sierra Leone, I think, are a little bit further behind. They've had their own troubles where Vision Aid Overseas had to actually pull out for a little while. There was the Ebola crisis, there was some political issues. Ultimately, the aim is to get the countries to be self-sufficient in their eye care. So we'll get into it a bit more, but what my trip mainly involved was training optometry students become more competent in their clinical skills, because obviously they're going to be the future generation that impart their knowledge on the following, like on the students to come.
So the people that you're training, so obviously one of the roles is carrying on the education, the continued education of optometry, and in that part of the world. What about actually providing to the community? Will they also be first hand, as in they will be the ones trusted to perform eye tests and refract, etc.?
Yeah, so Ghana, I think, is pretty much how the UK setup is, where you have eye clinics and people go to have their eyes tested and they buy glasses and so on. So their course is a little bit longer. At the end of it, they are doctors, but a lot of the services they provide are very similar to what you will find in an optometrist in the UK.
That's impressive to hear, to be honest. When you think about it, you think, these guys are going over there thinking we have in this Western world the best healthcare in the world, which to some extent we may do. And it's nice to hear that obviously that's also being provided to some extent in the developing world, such as Ghana, developing countries such as Ghana as well.
When Vision Aid Overseas as a charity, they have a presence even when you're studying in the UK. They come to the university, they give a talk, they give us a general idea of what it's about. So while studying, it was at the forefront of my mind. Maybe not at the forefront, but I had an idea that it's something that I wanted to do. Exactly when I wanted to do it, I wasn't too sure. It is a commitment. You have to raise quite a bit of money. You have to obviously take 2 weeks out of your trip. It was always something that I wanted to do.
Ooh.
So fast forwarding kind of to present day, maybe it was actually back at the beginning of 2017 when I was starting to be serious about it.
So about 4 or 5 months ago, essentially, isn't it? Was it longer?
Wait, was that back in 2017? No, beginning of 17.
Oh,
so a year ago.
Over a year ago. Okay,
yeah, so over a year ago. I basically sent out a few messages in my kind of friendship kind of groups on WhatsApp saying, anyone interested in doing Vision Aid Overseas? And I think I did get a few messages back where they were like, oh yeah, I'd be interested. But you know how it is, you always make plans and no one's really ready to commit, right?
Yeah.
Nobody...
Reminiscent of war, every single motive we try and plan.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, trying to organise the thing that we're doing in April has been a mission.
Were we meant to do something in March? Isn't that the whole subject of
Do
the
you
group
remember
chat?
the whole kind of amazing idea where, once a month we'll do something?
Oh, yeah.
Uni.
Oh yeah, that was like 18 months ago.
So yeah, I'm sure everyone can relate to that idea where friends say they'll do something, but then really
Never
when it gets to the
materializes.
nitty gritty, people kind of start to flake. So then I made the decision to just sign up myself and not be concerned about if anyone else was going to join me, which was, I think, quite a big step for me, really, because as a person, I'm not that outgoing. Socially,
I can vouch for that. Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
definitely.
socially, I kind of take the back seat. Not really the kind of person to approach people in terms of,
just general socializing.
Yeah.
It's not your forte.
Exactly. But how it works is you sign up to an initial volunteer course. It's a 1-day thing where they give you a rough idea of what it involves, what they do in the countries that they're based in, what the risks are, what the benefits are, how much you have to raise, basically kind of the logistics of it. Then you have the opportunity to actually sign up on the very day. So right at the end of the course, they give you a piece of paper and they say, if you're serious about doing this, put your name down and then we'll be in contact with you. I didn't actually fill out the paper that day because I wanted to think about it. So I was still a little bit apprehensive, but a few weeks down the line, yeah, I just signed up online. And then you don't really hear anything for a few months after that. But one day out of the blue, you get an email saying these are the date, these are the countries that we're looking to go for. Which one would you want? And I think I actually got an initial email and replied and said I wanted to go to a certain country. I can't remember where, but I got an email back saying it was full. So I had to wait. So my idea was I wanted to do it in 2017 because that was the year I wanted to do it. But all those dates had gone. So then I had to wait a whole year. So this is kind of March time in 2017. And the date I got was February 10, 2018 in Ghana or Ethiopia. And then I just took, seems a bit shallow, but what I did was, what kind of country has the best kind of tourist things to do?
Wow.
So I thought, okay, Ghana seems quite nice, so I'll go there. So what you do is you sign up and then you have to speak to the team leader. So I got a call from the team leader at the time, just giving us a call and wanting to know a bit more about me, why I wanted to do it. Obviously didn't tell her that I just googled the tourist attractions. But yeah, she wanted to know why I wanted to do it, kind of what experience I've had, which was zero experience in any kind of charity work, and if I was kind of still up for the idea, having thought about it for a little bit.
So then, after obviously committing to it, how did you prepare yourself? Say mentally, how did you prepare yourself? I need to go to this particular country. What kind of mindset do you have to put yourself in?
I think for me, so in the course, they scare you a little bit. Not really scare you, but they give you the truth about how if you're expecting the conditions to be 5-star, they're not. Right? It's lucky dip in terms of how the conditions will be, but you can't be surprised or you can't be put off if the conditions are really poor.
Substandard or
Like
not what you're expecting.
That kind of stuff. Right, the food, conditions, the weather, everything. And I thought, okay, I've been to Bangladesh a few times. That's where my family are originally from.
Yeah.
And I thought,
that's close enough. Yeah.
I pooed in a hole. Right, this can't faze me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know, like the ones where you squat down and you're
I think they know how to
just trying to paint a picture for the listeners, alright? So I thought that kind of stuff doesn't really faze me. I'm super easy about food, not fussy at all. So in terms of going to Africa and kind of seeing the stuff that you see in the news, right, thinking that the poverty is like everywhere, I thought, okay, fair enough, I can deal with that. Then there was obviously the challenge of raising the money. So we had to raise a donation of £1,700 to go as a first-time member. And I thought, first of all, I didn't really do anything for the first 3 or 4 months. It was actually after Ramadan that I started, which I regret, because probably if I started during Ramadan, everyone would have been super charitable and given me a lot of money. So I was thinking to myself, okay, if I raise about £500 to £700, it'd be a big hit, but I'd pay £1,000 of my own money. Because I didn't want to have the embarrassment of telling everybody I'm going. And then when I guys, I didn't really raise the money, now I can't go. So I thought, whatever happens, I'll pay it myself, but I'll raise as much as I can. But that first day that I set up that Just Giving page, right?
Oh yeah.
I sent the link to everyone, and the donations just were like flooding in, like £10, £20, people donating £50, £70, and I raised a lot of money in those first few weeks, nearly halfway, I think. But then obviously,
from the 117.
Yeah. Just kind of friends, just friends and family, just donating. But I still had a long way to go.
Other than Just Giving, what other means did you try and raise? What other things did you do to try and raise the money, the rest of the money?
Yeah, so I have to give a shout out to my work colleagues. They really helped me out. There were a lot of kind of bake sales, patience actually. There's this really amazing guy, I can't remember his name, and if I told you his name, it'd probably be breaking patient confidentiality anyway. But I did his eye test, right? And there was no prescription. Get out. Like, I've had enough.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want to buy glasses, I'm not interested. Get out of my testing room. On to the next one, right? Not really. That was a joke. But he went outside, and his wife must have been buying glasses. My work colleagues were really good at just talking about it. There's obviously posters up in my room, so there was a presence that information was out there. But out of nowhere, I'm in the middle of a test, and one of the staff members kind of knocks on my door and says, "Talha, you need to come out." And I'm thinking, oh, sugar, something serious has happened, right? She's like, "You need to come out." So I come out. I don't know exactly what's going on, and then she goes to me, "This guy, he wants to give you £100." And she's like, I didn't feel comfortable taking it myself, so I thought you should. I don't at this moment, I don't know who this guy is, right? Not for the life of me do I think it's the guy that I've just seen, because that was just like my most bog standard test I've ever done. Right? I didn't do anything extraordinary to deserve this £100 donation. So anyway, he gives me £100. Right? I'm like, thank you, this means a lot. I go back to my testing room, right? I'll probably do another couple of tests and then I come out, and I'm just chilling. So you know, when we don't have patients, we just kind of chill on the shop floor, help out a little bit. So I think him and his wife are paying for any glasses that they did buy, and then he comes up to me again. Is like, "Oh, I want to give you another £100."
What?
So this guy, I don't know if he was just feeling super generous for that day, or if he was super loaded, but he contributed £200 to that 1,700, and that kind of pretty much got me there. That was the final push. Prior to that, it was we basically went around all the local kind of businesses, told them that that we're trying to raise money. What can you offer for this raffle that we're doing, right? And we got kind of free tickets from the cinema, free bowling games, chocolates, all sorts, like McDonald's meal vouchers.
That's pretty cool.
And I think we raised a total, and we did a book sale as well. And all together, kind of from the fundraising schemes at work, we raised about £300. So all of that added up, and by the end of it, the money needs to be in by January. And that's if you go to the GoFund, to the Just Giving page, you can still donate. Just a little plug there, but
what's that going to? You're next trip to Sierra Leone, yeah?
I mean, Vision Aid, they still need money, right?
This goes straight to
the
Vision
money
Aid,
goes straight to Vision Aid.
Cool.
It wasn't paying for my trip at all. I don't know exactly how it works. Essentially, what they told us is the donation itself doesn't fund the trip.
It's just to help them run whatever cost there are to do.
The charity paid for the trip and everything. But I think the money that we donated, it's not a sponsorship. It's a donation. Yeah,
genuine donation going towards actually helping other people.
Exactly.
So who did you go with?
Yeah, so we went with 4 other optoms. Initially, it was meant to be 5 of us. So what happened was once all the team members were sorted, we got put into a WhatsApp group, and that's how we initially started talking. It was a little bit awkward at the beginning.
You've never really met each other. I
was trying to bust some jokes. I wasn't getting.
We're trying to gauge the comedic levels.
Lols, any ruffles, any ahas back.
No emojis, huh?
No emojis. Wow. Just tough dead silence.
Was that red and that's it? Just 2 blue ticks.
And I thought, oh god, this is gonna be a tough trip.
Oh, they hit me already.
And then what happened was, I think only maybe less than a week or even 3 days before we were about to fly out, we get an email saying your team leaders had to pull out. So there were 5 of us originally. There was the team leader, who had been on multiple trips before, the deputy team leader, Zaira, myself, Param, who was a newbie as well, and Jane. So 2 people with experience and 3 people who it was their first time trip. So the team leader pulls out, with Zaira having the only one with having experience. So she was originally our deputy team leader, and she got put into being our team leader.
Promoted, essentially.
Yeah, and it then transpired, like on the trip, she told us a story where Judith, who's kind of the regional lead in charge of organising the trips and getting all the teams together, she actually, I think, emailed Zaira and said, I know this is short notice. If you don't feel confident becoming the team leader, you can kind of not do it. We'll kind of postpone the trip or cancel the trip. So there was a moment in time where this trip potentially might not have happened.
It hung in the balance on one person's decision, essentially.
Exactly. So we weren't aware of this, right?
This was happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys were just happy. You were just happy busting jokes in the
Yeah,
group chat.
I was-
To zero responses. And this is happening where you couldn't even go.
Exactly. So that's a little bit of drama to start off the trip. Obviously, I'm blissfully unaware, getting all my mosquito repellent, buying my cookies to take with me to Ghana, Fox's biscuits.
Biscuits.
Yeah, shout out to Fox's for making those amazing biscuits.
Yeah, basically we'll plug our address so you can send more biscuits. So yeah, let us know.
If this podcast blows and we get a sponsorship from Fox's.
We're having that pan on the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to bring one. He looks pretty primed out, doesn't he? Is he the one that wears the gold chain?
Alright, cut to the Fox's advert now. Alright, we're back from that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Okay, yeah, so there were 4 of us now left. Take string, that was an absolute nightmare to find.
It was a specific string you had to take.
It said a ball of string. And I thought, okay, that should be easy. Where do you buy a ball of string? If anyone knows, help me, okay? The only way I found it was because my dad had some string in the boot of his car. And that's how I found it.
It's not even rope, just string.
Yeah, I went to Wilco.
No string.
No string. That's the only place I went. I think I went to the 99p store and I went to Wilco, and then I just gave up. I was like, I'm never going to find this string.
Just then in the middle, she's
Like, I'm sorry guys, I get to Ghana. Like, I'm sorry guys, I failed you. So we were given a list of things we needed to buy. And I think on my list was string, blue tack. Like, smash that. Found the blue tack. Bought 2 packs instead of 1. Like, they're going to love me. But the string let me down.
Damn. Maybe that's why you bought 2 blue tags. No?
Yeah.
You're overcompensating.
Yeah, kind of buying presents for the kids, that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Oh, so you bought presents there or here?
I bought presents in the UK. So I
sorry,
went to...
you bought presents?
Presents, sorry.
Oh,
Presents.
wow. I was like, you bought presents?
No, I went to Wilco again, and I just kind of cleared out the toy section. Took all the bouncy balls, took all the bubbles. I took these weird like maze things where there's a little metal ball and you have to get the maze in the middle.
Oh yeah, I
get the ball in the middle. And balloons, yeah, balloons, loads of balloons. Mate, blowing up a balloon when it's like 39 degrees, you feel like you're gonna pass out. Like, it's so...
That's exhausting. Yeah, it must be exhausting. Yeah.
I blew up like 3 or 4 balloons and I was like, alright, so I'm sorry kids, I need to sit down. Like, this is getting too much.
Do you not get the little thing that blows out for you?
No, we had sticks though. So shout out to Param because he wouldn't shut up about his balloon sticks.
What do you mean by balloon sticks?
It's not. You know the sticks that balloons get attached onto.
Oh, it's got a little cup that holds the balloon. So you brought those?
Yeah. So we would always talk about what toys we bought. It's like, yeah, I bought sticks. Don't worry, guys. Think about it. They can hold the balloon on their stick. And it's like, and I was just thinking. I think I even told him, I'm like, that's
no,
it's not that amazing.
No, get something better. Just sticks. You took a flight straight to is it Accra?
Yeah, the flight was about 6.5 hours. We were at the airport during the North London derby. I was watching it on my phone.
Oh yes.
Trying to see. I only watched the first half. I didn't manage to see Harry Kane's goal live. Disappointed.
Is it when you actually arrived at the airport? We actually messaged in the group. Yeah, I remember the message. I'm like, wait, hang on, this brother was in like Ghana.
No, I was on the plane. I was on the plane and I was messaging you guys. And I told him, I made it clear, like, if Spurs lose this game, right, that's gonna ruin my whole Ghana trip.
You're not coming back.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna be depressed for at least the first 3 or 4 days, right? And I just want to make you guys aware of that. They don't understand. You understand, right? You lose.
Listen, man.
Football match.
I'm a West Ham fan. It's not going great. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know what football is anymore. I mean, I've moved on to like more serious sports like squash. So yeah, I'm into that kind of stuff now.
Team England, powered by a nation. N-Power, proud sponsors of Commonwealth Games England and their official anthem. Search N-Power Team England to hear the track now.
So we landed in Accra. That's how I learnt to pronounce it, by the way. It's not Accra.
Accra.
Yeah. But that wasn't where we were based. We went to a guest house. And that was our first exposure to kind of the conditions we would be living in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was super nice. It was like we all had our own room. There was a nice double bed, ensuite shower. Like, well, I can get used to this. Wi-Fi, yeah.
So nothing like 16 people in one room.
No. Yeah. So that was the first night. We got landed pretty late, kind of 8 p.m. So we were all super tired. We kind of had some dinner, which wasn't very nice. I think the food was hit and miss in Ghana. Sometimes it was delicious, sometimes it wasn't. But I've got this really weird thing where I have to finish the food that's on my plate, and it became a bit of a thing in Ghana as well, because they were giving me grief, like I just eat too much. But Ghanaian portions are massive, and I just had to finish it, man. It's like this thing inside me. Like,
Wow.
You
powered through.
Yeah, you just eat until you can't eat anymore.
But yours is obviously finish the damn plate, man.
Yeah, finish. Yeah. So then it was a 4.5 hour drive to Kumasi and KNUST University. And on the drive there, we went to this place called Paradise just to stop and have some food, and we had some fried yam with.
So you were delving into the culture.
Yeah, so you have to
Straight
right?
in.
You can't go there and just have
Fried yams.
cereal bars and stuff. You gotta try the local food. Yeah, so when we bought the fried yam, there was an incident where it came with some red sauce, right? It looked like it had a little bit of onions in it, and we were like, okay, we'll try it, but is it spicy? The lady looked at us like we were crazy, like, no, it's not spicy. What are you on about? There's absolutely no spice there. Like, it was the spiciest thing I've ever had, and I thought I was used to spice, but
being brown and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Ghanaian spice.
I mean, I've been spice. I'm sure I can handle this.
Ghanaian spice is next level.
Like I've had jollof. That was, it had a bit of a kick.
Yeah.
And the thing is that chef actually like reduced the amount of spice just for us, because of all some non-pigmenting folk coming.
So the purpose of our trip was to basically help fifth-year optometry students to improve their clinical skills. So first week was kind of intensive clinical-based practice. So we kind of broke down each day into certain aspects of an eye test. Now the thing is, when we weren't really given any idea of what we would be doing. We knew we had a USB stick with some lectures on it. We knew we had a lot of equipment, and we knew we'd be teaching students. But what we'd be teaching them, we didn't really know. We didn't bother really looking at the slides until the first day, and we hadn't been given any instructions from the team in the UK. And when we spoke to the team in Ghana, they were like, "Oh, we thought you'd be a little bit." It basically said we thought you'd be more prepared.
Yeah.
So I have to give props to Zaira, who was our team leader, because she has a little bit of experience in kind of teaching in the UK.
Oh, cool.
And she really kind of pulled it out of the bag. She got everything in order. She told us how we're going to do it, what we're going to do. And from my point of view, I feel like it went really smoothly.
What was your standout moment of that whole trip?
I think the trip was definitely split into two sections, right? There's the kind of the volunteer work that we did, and then there's all the stuff that we did outside of that, right? So the actual work we did was only really 9 till 4, 5, and then the evening and the weekends we could do kind of what we wanted. We could kind of be tourists essentially. Overall, the second week, when we went to villages and we started actually doing eye tests on the general public, that outreach is what it's called, was definitely super rewarding. You felt like you were making a difference, and it was just everything about it, like the atmosphere even. Right? It just put you in a good mood, right? Even though the conditions weren't great, right? So at the university, we were used to having fans, we were used to having aircon, electricity. When we were outside in the villages, we didn't know what to expect, right? One day we were in a half-built church, another day we were kind of in a community centre that was only organised last minute, so they didn't really have anything set out for us. And
you just had to make do what was available, and that was it.
And the third day we were just in this little room that was like a makeshift clothes factory, and we utilised that room, but most of the stuff that we did was done outside, right? We just put like a canopy up and set everything out on this like open courtyard type thing.
And you performed all your examinations, everything underneath the canopy and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So it's hard to explain or hard to kind of picture, but it's what the mindset is. You're going to this village, right? You don't know what you're expecting. You don't know how the setup's going to be. So the first kind of half an hour is just trying to make do with what you have. So we know the basics of an eye test, right? We know you need a space where you're going to check what someone can see, right? Take their visions. You know, you need a space to look inside of their eyes where it's quite dark. And then you know you need another space where you're going to help them to choose their frames and help them to kind of dispense, which is what we call it, right?
Get glasses.
Yeah, people get glasses. So we knew we needed 3 kind of areas to do that, but we didn't know exactly how to work it. And I feel like the more we went through that second week, the better and more efficient we got. And that kind of testing is so completely different to what you do in the UK. In the UK, you have a set routine. Everything in your room is perfect, right? All the equipment works properly. You can set the conditions exactly. You can turn the lights off, right? Something as simple as that. Being able to turn the lights off when you need to, you take that for granted, right? But when you're in a half-built church, you can't turn the lights off. So just simple things like that. The one thing that I think I kind of appreciate so much more is how good we have it in terms of our kind of equipment. It's not you don't even put any thought into it, right?
That's true. It's there. It's always there for us. There's not much we need to do. We turn up, do whatever we need to do, assume everything isn't working order. If it isn't, then you don't need to do anything about it. You just tell someone about it, and then they'll move something.
And the service we provide is never limited by a lack of equipment.
That's true. Right? Oh, that's very true. Yeah.
So there were so many situations where, because the university, or even when we were out on outreach, we didn't have what we needed to have, so we had to think of ways to work around it, or think of ways to do things differently. Yeah, so I think that's the kind of the thing that I appreciate most, having come back from Ghana.
So how was Ghana outside of your own volunteering work?
So what Vision Aid are really good at is giving you that opportunity to explore the country as well. So for any trip with Vision Aid overseas, you get a middle weekend where you can take that opportunity to do things outside of your work. So what we did was we went to this place called Cape Coast. The thing that we did so many things, like a lot of touristy things, but the thing that kind of resonated with me the most, I'm a little bit into history, right? So we went to this place called Elmina Castle, which was a castle that was originally built, I think, by the Dutch or the Portuguese, one or the other. But it was castle that they used. It was a castle that they used to house the slaves when they were involved in the slave trade. So they took us around and they showed us kind of the cellars that they were kept in, what kind of conditions they were kept in. He told us about how the guys used to treat the women, like what they used to do to them, how they used to tie them up, and if the woman would resist, they would lock them up and basically not feed them until they either gave up or they died, basically. Yeah. Of course, racism we're taught about in school, right? And the slave trade we're taught about
in particular,
in school. Right, but that really kind of brought it all home, and I felt the injustice.
You empathise in that moment towards this is what their struggle was.
Yeah, it happened, right? And it didn't happen too far back. It was quite recent. I think only kind of
are we talking 50, 60, no more than that, 70, 80 years?
Yeah, at least kind of, I think it was the 1940s when it ended, right? So World War II kind of time, which is when the British came. I might have got my dates wrong, but I think that's what he said.
That's okay. I'll do some post editing.
But I think that was something that I guess enjoyed is the wrong word, because it was super depressing. You left there and you've kind of brought the mood down, but understandably so, right? It's not something you'd be happy about. But I really enjoyed that about Ghana, learning more about the country, learning more about the history. But the other thing is kind of the relationships we built with the people there,
the natives that were there.
Yeah, so the whole trip we were driven around by this guy called Chris. He's a legend.
Shout out Chris.
Honestly, I got so much love for Chris. He kind of we gave him a little something, and he's bought a new phone, and he's got WhatsApp now. Hey. And then he called us. He called us the first Sunday we were back, and now we talk over WhatsApp.
Your boys.
Yeah, I just love this guy.
So you've had more motives planned with him than you have. Okay, cool. I see where your priorities lie, Talha. I see where they are.
And the students, like, we've kind of obviously connected over Facebook and WhatsApp and so on. I was super sad to leave. I wish I was there for a bit longer. 2 weeks was too short, and if I ever have the opportunity to go back, I think I would.
Going forward, are you aware, or would you happen to know what their plans are for that particular place that you're working in, the little village? all for the student?
Yeah, so I know that there's another group due to head out to finish up with that same year group. So I think their trip is due to be kind of end of springtime. So they're going to be doing very similar things to what we did. Again, trying to improve their skills. There might be another delegate going and just working in another university. So Ghana has, I think it was 3 main universities. The one we were based in does optometry, and there's a University of Cape Coast which has another kind of optometry course.
Okay.
So there might be a group going to that university
To help them out.
to help them out.
And for your own self, so where do you see yourself going forward? If it is any more charity work planned out for you, or you think, yeah, this is my intention to go here. I know you've said that if you have a chance to go again to Ghana, you'd obviously do that. But what other avenues do you think there are in terms of charity work that you could be involved in?
I think closer to home, what's the charity called during Christmas time? Is it Crisis? There's a charity where we kind of test homeless people.
So you're talking about Salvation Army? Because I do something with the Salvation Army every once a year.
I'm sure there's a lot of initiatives, but there's that. So maybe during Christmas time I might look into doing that. With Vision Aid Overseas, now that I've been on one trip, I have the opportunity to go this time as a team leader or a deputy team leader. So that might be something. I mean, we spoke about it, and I was thinking whether or not the experience would be the same going a second time. Whether I'd always kind of compare it to
the first time
around.
Because you're a bit too experienced that you'd rather be be fresh, like, oh wow, it's the first time I've seen this.
And at the moment I haven't really done too much research into that, but it's something that moving forward, depending with work, what happens, I'll see
what availabilities come up. Would you look to go to another country, whether it is in Africa or not, outside of it though, mainly outside? So for example, maybe South Asia or I'm
not too educated on this, but Zahra, again, our team leader, she mentioned something where an optometrist has set up his own kind of equivalent to Vision Aid Overseas, where he goes more to the Middle East, like Syria and those kind of countries, which is an opportunity, but I don't know, safety-wise, what the situation
of course,
is.
Yeah, not the most safest place in the world at the moment, unfortunately. Quite hostile, but no, that's a great opportunity, obviously. Yeah. So where can people find more information about the charities that you worked with, whether it be with Vision Aid Overseas or elsewhere? How else can they get in contact with people that are interested?
Yeah. So first of all, anyone interested in doing a similar kind of trip, you don't have to be an optician to do it. You can go as a layperson and help them out. There's obviously the Vision Aid Overseas website. It doesn't have to be optics related. There's Red Cross, right? There's loads of different charities, and just a quick Google will really kind of get you into that kind of thing. If you have the opportunity to do it. I can't recommend it strongly enough, honestly. They say, and it's kind of a cliche, right, that in the course, the people you go with, we kind of be friends for life. But I genuinely feel that way, right? We kind of shared that experience, and I feel like we're really good friends now.
Bit moist, but
some of the students were like a little bit in love with Jane. Yeah,
was that the first
team members?
Was that the first Caucasian they've seen in a very long time?
Maybe. She did get. Someone did tell her she had beautiful skin.
You talk about how you shat yourself. Or almost. With the spicy food, yeah.
Oh yeah, I talked about the spicy food, but I didn't talk about the fufu.
No
the
way.
waji, the jollof rice. I love the food. There were so many different kind of dishes that we tried. Obviously, fried yam. That was the first thing that we tried. Love that. A little bit dry, but I don't mind that. I had that with fish. So
what kind of fish?
I don't know, man. Tilapia.
Tilapia.
I think every fish was tilapia.
Cooked up?
Grilled, yeah, grilled.
Okay,
grilled
cool.
On the bone. Sometimes the head was there. So me, obviously, I have fish at home, man. Like Bengali, used to it. Right, Maspiran. If any Bengalis listening out there, they know what that is. So it didn't faze me, but everyone else was like, "Oh my god, we can't have the fish. The head is still attached. That you can see the eyes."
You probably did that. So
I was like, "What do you think a fish does, man? It has a head." But anyway, they were like, "No head, no tail." So anyway, I got the middle part of the fish. Cool. That was fine. We had fufu. Now fufu is weird. It's like this big blob of yellowy, creamy, gelatinous, gooey splodge, right?
How did it taste? So it's sweet, sour,
doesn't
savory,
taste of anything.
Anything. Wow.
You kind of pull it, right? You take a clump out of it. You're meant to eat it with your hands. So you take a clump out of this big white blob, and it's your fingers kind of slowly go into it, and you take a clump and you pull it out. I don't know how to explain it. All I can think of is slime. right? So you pull it out, and it's like still attached until you pull it far enough, and then it kind of
Snaps.
detaches and snaps off. And you're like, okay. And it comes in this stew with meat, and apparently all the meat was halal. That's what they told us.
Cool.
Dr. Mohammed, he was the head of optometry, so I had to believe what he said.
He's got Muhammad in his name. So
Yeah.
He's got to be.
So you put it in your mouth, and it's all like soft and sticky. So it's really difficult to chew. Anyway, I finished it standard, right, as I do. The others, they weren't really too
Keen on it. So what, you just swallow it because there's nothing much to chew? Just like, cool.
See, that's the interesting point. So Jane ended up talking to one of the students about it, how we tried fufu and it wasn't very nice. And she I think just in passing comment, she was like, "Oh, how do you chew this thing? Right, it's so weird." And they just kind of burst out laughing, like, you don't chew it, you just swallow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it.
You
Just
swallow.
dash it in your mouth and then down it
They all
goes.
came out and asked us one by one, did you chew or did you swallow, right? And then we were like, we chewed.
Oh wow, that's.
So that became a bit of a running joke.
I was
in
about to say
Ghana.
that's quite an awkward question
Yeah.
in other contexts, but yeah.
Did you chew or
Yeah,
did you
that's sort
swallow?
of- wow.
Obviously we swallow now, right? So
Oh jeez. Listen, I want this to make it into iTunes without that E logo at the end where it's for explicit. This podcast contains sexual content.
so Fufu gets a thumbs down. Try waji, which is like a breakfast dish, but it's like beans and noodles and all these other plantain and.
Or is it a more vegetable based meal?
So a lot of them are kind of bean based.
Oh cool.
I
Okay.
think it's black-eyed peas.
Boom boom pow.
Yeah, so that was really nice. Got so sick of jollof rice. We used to have it every single day. But
It's just normal rice then,
yeah,
no?
but I still finished it.
Of course.
Still had the whole container.
As much as they splashed onto your plate.
Yeah, the thing is, I won't ever complain about food, right?
Mm.
So in my head, I was like, screw this. But everyone else thought I was loving it.
So they end up giving you more, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
no.
Okay.
As in, even my team members are like, "What's wrong with you, man? You keep finishing with food. Like you're obviously not having any problems." And I was
You're
like,
not in
"Yeah."
my head. Like you
Yeah.
don't understand what's going on.
I was
in
like,
there.
"It's all right." I just used to say it's all right, but jollof rice. If I don't see another plate of jollof rice, I'd be happy for the rest of my life because
Oh, that bad.
we
huh?
had. It wasn't bad, but it's just.
That's true.
I just got so sick of it.
Mm.
Maybe in a year's time, I
Mm.
can go back to jollof.
Yeah, there's a cooling off period at the moment,
Yeah.
basically.
But we tried other things like plantain is delicious. We've had it grilled. Yeah, grilled plantain. That's really, really nice. But by the end of our trip, we just kind of like, if we can find any kind of Western food, we'll have that rather than having any more jollof rice.
Oh, and
Yeah.
jollof rice, wow. That bad.
Ghana, we all got Ghanaian names. My name's Kofi.
No way.
Yeah.
You know I'm changing that on the contact.
It's based on what day you're born. So because I was born on a Friday, my name's Kofi.
To your coffee.
Yeah, but it's different in different regions.
So
So
because I was thinking, so there are literally 7 names in Ghana.
the thing
like-
is, they have numerous names, right? They have the Christian name, they have the Ghanaian name, then they have the day that they were born,
Mhm.
and then say I had a younger brother
Mhm.
that was born in the same day as me,
Mhm.
right? He'd still be Kofi, but I'd be Kofi Panini. Yeah, that destroyed us as well.
Yeah.
We're like, so is the young one Kofi Baguette? Or... Sorry if that's a little bit racist.
It
but,
is. So your name is literally Kofi Panini.
no, because
It's Kofi Panini. It's gonna be Kofi Panini.
Yeah, so whenever Chris calls me up, he's like, "Yay, Kofi, what's up?" I'm like, "What's up, Chris?"
So thank you, Talha, for coming through. Enjoy having you on the podcast. Obviously, shout out to Vision Aid Overseas, who obviously provided and helped you guys out in Ghana. And obviously, yeah, we will be looking forward to donate and doing other charitable things in the future as well, whether it is Vision Aid Overseas or other projects that we'd like to do. Obviously, if anyone would like to get involved, we'll try and post as many links in the description below. But it's an easy Google search, to be honest. Thankfully, we've been blessed to have many opportunities to do charity work here in the UK. So, no, get yourself involved and hopefully see you guys soon.
Take care. See you soon.
Bye.